Hey, what's up everybody? This is Marcus from the Weekly Spot, back again with another video, and today I'm going to do a movie review of 2008's The Incredible Hulk. So after an experiment gone wrong, turning scientist Bruce Banner into the Hulk, he becomes a fugitive from General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross and the US military that want to capture him and exploit his power. Years later, Bruce has been in hiding and living in Brazil trying to find a cure for himself, but eventually got found out by Ross. So Bruce, now being back on the run, being reunited with the woman he loves, who just so happens to be the daughter of General Ross, while still trying to find a cure for himself, he soon comes face to face with a new threat. The Incredible Hulk is one of those films in the MCU that's kind of been forgotten about, but now I feel like it's getting more recognition lately that I feel like it deserves, because this is an awesome movie. The story I thought was pretty good. I really like that instead of the movie being about his origin story, which at that point I feel like is well known. They used the opening credits to present the Hulk's origin, and I thought that was well done and how they handled it, because it allows the main narrative focus, which is Bruce's struggle with the Hulk, trying to find a cure while also being on the run from Thunderbolt Ross. And another thing about the opening, I like how it was similar to the live action television show that came out in 1977. There were even some cameos and references of the television show and the comics as well, which I thought was cool, and it kind of felt like I was watching the 1977 show really. And it also reminded me of the 1996 animated show too, with Bruce being on the run and his struggle with the Hulk and his complicated relationship with Betty. It's also a good looking film. I like the cinematography. It has some nice effects. The action scenes are really good. They are exciting and well choreographed. This movie has some solid performances. Edward Norton did a good job as Bruce Banner, showcasing the character's smarts and his internal struggles. And I like the parts of the film showing Bruce living his life and keeping a low profile in Brazil. And I thought it was cool seeing that while he's trying to find a cure, he's learning how to control his temper and his emotions, keeping himself from turning into the Hulk. Because although Bruce is most famously known to transform when he's angry, he's also triggered by other strong emotions, such as stress, anxiety, physical trauma, etc., which I thought was interesting to see. And it also just shows how much it just sucks being Bruce or the Hulk, which is pretty accurate to the comics because he's such a tragic character. And I like that the film it delves into Bruce's inner turmoil and his ongoing struggle as it adds more depth to the story. Liv Tyler I thought was good as Betty Roth. The character is gentle, she's kind-hearted, and much like Bruce, she's also pretty intelligent. And like I mentioned before, this film does explore the complicated relationship between her and Bruce, and we see that like the comics, Betty provides the emotional support and stability for Bruce, especially in his struggles with the Hulk. She's the the person who can connect with Bruce on a deeper level. And we also see a bit of the strained relationship she has with her father, Thunderbolt Ross. And again, I thought that Liv Tyler does a good job in this. I like the relationship between Betty and Bruce in this film. I thought that her and Edward Norton worked well together, along with William Hurt. Now moving on to the villains, there are two villains in here. There's Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, played by the late William Hurt, Emil Blonsky, aka the Abomination, played by Tim Roth. Now Thunderbolt Ross, is known to be one of Hulk's nemesis in the comics, and having like this growing obsession of hunting down the Hulk and Bruce Banner, and that's what you get here. Like, it's pretty accurate. And I thought that William Hurt did such a good job of portraying this character as someone who is just arrogant, ruthless, and egotistical. Like, you cannot stand this guy at all. Like the character, but at the same time cannot stand him. Tim Roth I also thought did a good job as Emil Blonsky, aka the Abomination, another nemesis of the Hulk in the comics, and he's another one of my favorites in the MCU. In the comics, the character was a Russian spy, but in here Blonsky is a soldier, a special ops commander of the British Royal Marines, who was sent to help Ross on the hunt for Banner. Now Blonsky here here is a pretty straightforward character, as he's somebody that's trying to relive his glory days, and he loves being in the battlefield. He has like such a deep passion for fighting that when he encounters the Hulk for the first time, he wants to go after him again. And at one point, him wanting to fight and defeat the Hulk, it kind of becomes like an obsession. And as the film goes on, we see the character slowly lose his sanity, his humanity, and becoming power hungry, which eventually leads him to becoming the Abomination. And Blonsky, you know, he's a guy that's about that action. Like he's badass, and the way the Abomination looks in this movie, I don't know, I actually like the different look that they gave him, and they do eventually give him the more comic book accurate look, which, you know, it does, you know, look better, like it looks great. But I don't know, I didn't really mind his design in this movie. Now, as much as I enjoyed this movie with the performances, the way the movie looks, and I almost forgot to mention the soundtrack, I do enjoy the music, etc. The best part about this movie is, of course, the Hulk himself. The Hulk looks awesome. I like how he first shows up in this movie as like this monster in the shadows, you know, giving off like horror movie vibes. And, you know, it's just great, you know, seeing him, you know, being a savage. And I know there's more to the character beyond that, you know, Hulk being like this powerful, unstoppable beast. But that is one of the things that the character is known for, you know, causing destruction, and it's definitely the highlight of this movie. And the one last thing that I want to talk about are the deleted scenes. Now, if you don't have the DVD, you can find these scenes on the internet. Supposedly, these scenes were cut for pacing and to streamline the narrative, but also due to the creative differences between Edward Norton and Marvel Studios. And even though these scenes are still out there for everyone to see, it still sucks knowing the reason why they were deleted, because most of these scenes, they add so much to the characters, to the story, I mean really everything, which is unfortunate, because if these scenes were, you know, in the movie, they would have made the movie just as good, if not better. But again, at least you can find these scenes on the internet if you don't have the DVD. Overall, The Incredible Hulk, I think, is a good movie, definitely underrated. I like the story, the characters, the action, I like the references. This is one of my favorite movies of the MCU, which is why it sucks that, you know, we haven't had a sequel or anything. And for those who may not know why that is, it's because of distribution rights and costs. Like, apparently the effects are very expensive, and while Marvel Studios owns the character, Universal holds the distribution rights. So it's a pretty complex issue, which is why the character has been showing up in other projects, which is cool that we still, you know, get to see him. But if I gotta be honest, I've been at the point now where if they do announce another Hulk movie or whatever, the excitement is still there, because he definitely deserves it. But at the same time, I'm one of those people that's not really a fan of how they've been handling the Hulk lately. But maybe they'll somehow find a way to redeem him. I mean, I hope they do, but who knows. But anyways, The Incredible Hulk, awesome movie, and I will give it a 4.5 out of 5. Now that is it for my review for the 2008 The Incredible Hulk, and let me know what you think of the movie. This is Marcus from the Weekly Spot. More content will be coming out soon, but until then, take care everyone.